This is the All Day Ruckoff podcast, episode number 8. Welcome to the All Day Ruckoff podcast, episode number 8. This is your host, Brian, and I wanted to thank you so much for tuning in. We truly hope you enjoy this episode, and don't forget to check out our previous episodes as well. The All Day Ruckoff podcast includes interviews, answers questions, and provides updates on the rucking community. Today, we are very excited to be interviewing Kit Klein, who is a relationship manager at GORUCK. In this episode, we cover the GORUCK Firebase program and what benefits are available to ruck clubs. Before we get started, I wanted to thank our newest review on Apple Podcasts. This one comes from Snake228, who says, "Killer podcast. This podcast gets me pumped to ruck. He brings in awesome luminaries of the community for great discussions. I signed up for Pathfinder ruck training thanks to this podcast." A huge thanks to Snake228 for spending the time to leave that 5-star review. If you enjoy the podcast, please consider leaving a review on Apple Podcasts. If there's something you think we can improve on, please send an email directly to me at brian@alldayruckoff.com. Last announcement, thank you so much for all of the email responses from those who want to talk about their GORUCK experiences on our upcoming ADR episode. If you're interested in being part of that, please send an email to me at brian@alldayruckoff.com, and I would love to schedule some time to chat. That's it for the announcements. Now on to the interview. I'm talking with Kit Klein, who manages the relationships between the GORUCK affiliates, GORUCK gym partners, and GORUCK Firebases. He's one of the nicest guys I've ever met, and I'm so happy that he's taking time out of his day to talk with me.
No problem at all. I'm happy to do it. I mean, you've been a great ambassador for a long time, so always happy to help.
So let's start out with your involvement in the GORUCK community. How did you find GORUCK, and what was that like?
I started from a very early stage of the GORUCK journey. I was in class 3 back in 2010 in New York City. I found it through the Tough Mudder website when we used to be partnered with them back in the day. I saw an ad on the side of the Tough Mudder webpage stating that if you wanted to run a course with special operations soldiers, that you had to complete a GORUCK challenge. So I decided that it was definitely something I wanted to try. I was in a stage of my life where I was looking for a challenge to face, whether it was an obstacle course or otherwise. And the GORUCK challenge just kind of piqued my interest because I kept escalating what I wanted to do from the Warrior Dash to the Tough Mudder, which then ultimately led me to the GORUCK challenge in New York City. And once I tasted that Kool-Aid back in 2010, I fell in love with what the company stood for and what we do at the events. And I was really bought into everything that they did. So I kind of was at the very early part of the whole journey of GORUCK.
So class 3, that was right at the beginning. There was almost no information about GORUCK on the website, anywhere online. What were your thoughts during the event, and was it what you expected?
It was I was super nervous because I never had done anything like that before. I had never even done a Tough Mudder or any sort of obstacle course race before that either. So it was just a very unknown thing to me. And as you said, there was not much to read about it. So it was kind of facing the fears of the unknown, kind of testing myself. I was in a testing, trying to see what my mettle was, trying to understand how much I could really endure as a person. And the challenge just seemed this mysterious thing to me. So I definitely had to check it out. And when I went there, it was just very laid back in terms of what you were expecting. You're like, okay, well, what is there going to be a course? Is there going to be a, person taking registration? And at that time, it was just Jason taking registration, giving people their bags because they, if you ordered one, he would bring it to you at the event start. And there's just so many things that you're like, wow, this is crazy. I've never seen an event like this before. It was so different. So it really kind of set this stage of super anxiety because you didn't know what to expect. And immediately after everyone kind of checked in and received their rucksacks, we just started running. Jason just took off as the cadre, and immediately everyone started to follow him. And, as you have no idea what to expect at that point, you just think, okay, I guess I'm supposed to run after this guy. And as I was chasing him, I remember that everyone was falling apart. There was no joined team at that point. So everyone was kind of just a big gaggle. And eventually, obviously Jason saw that and made us all get down and start doing push-ups. And that was the immediate, part where I realized that this is definitely not an event that I'm used to. This is going to test what I expect at any type of kind of endurance event. And it just turned into this team building experience for the next 10 hours or so, where I was just running around New York City and carrying bricks, because we used to carry bricks back then. And it was just a wild and crazy experience for my first time, but it was wonderful just getting to know the company from a really young stage and getting to know Jason from the very beginning as well.
So moving from that, you met Jason right at the beginning. When did you start working for GORUCK?
I started working for GORUCK back in 2013 full-time. I did some part-time work for them before that. It's kind of like I said, I really believed in what the company was doing, really believed in what they were trying to promote, and being that they were still in their infancy when I first started, really gave me an opportunity to get in the door in the ground floor and get to know Jason before anything blew up to the proportions it's at today. And I was able to get my foot in the door, because I really feel like if you believe in something, if you want to be a part of that, you do whatever you can. You put your best foot forward and you just give everything you can to that cause. And that's really what I felt like doing with GORUCK in the beginning, because I thought if I at least do something, there might be some opportunities there. There might be an opportunity just to get in and help this brand out because I believed in them. And then I thought, in the future, maybe there'll be an opportunity to work there because I really love what they did. So I started in 2013 doing it full time here in Jacksonville.
That's great. That's an awesome story. You got in, been there for 4 years now. Congratulations.
Thank you. It's been great. It's been an awesome ride. I mean, it's so crazy to see, because working at a small company and it's startup type feel, you have so much change and craziness that happens all the time. And that's what makes it exciting, that there's never like this day could be one way, it could be another way. There could be a whole new thing happening. There's so many things going on, and you get to really experience everything in the company. I mean, that's really what I learned as I grew up in GORUCK, is how many different facets I could understand. So I was able to see customer service firsthand and see how the gear was ordered and where it came from and why, we did that. I could see the marketing side and the branding side and just everything. Really working in a small company gives you the opportunity to see everything from beginning to end. And it's an awesome process to understand and to be a part of.
Sounds like a really great experience. I know you as the point of contact for affiliates, for rec clubs, for gyms. What is the official title of your current role?
You wear a lot of hats at GORUCK, and I guess the best title is just a partnership relationship manager in general. It's a good way to explain my role, just managing gym partnerships, managing rec clubs, managing affiliates, and then also broader strategic partnerships and trying to find good people to work with. My goal is always to find somebody that understands who we are as a company and, is someone cool that we want to work with that just aligns with our mission.
It seems like you get to work with a lot of really amazing people since you're the point for affiliates, rec clubs, gyms. What's the favorite part of your job?
I think if you hit it on the head, it's definitely working with these really interesting people from all these different backgrounds. I constantly get, requests from many different organizations and some companies I've never even heard of before. And I get these opportunities to understand their businesses and see how GORUCK can fit with them. And that's really my favorite part, is finding a solution to a problem that they have and saying, hey, we can help with that. We can offer some way to help provide more value for your brand while still at the same time obviously benefiting GORUCK. But I enjoy giving them a solution, giving them something that makes sense for both parties. And it's really fun to come to those things with each other that we're able to say, hey, yeah, I want to do an event here. It's like, cool, we can work with you on a custom. Or, hey, we want to order a bunch of gear for a gym. And it's like, great, let's work on that together. Or sometimes even crazier things where they want to do some sort of integrated event with us. And it's just, there's so many opportunities, and it's fun to kind of hash out what it turned into.
And it sounds like, especially with a small company, you're able to do some truly unique and custom things with your clients.
Absolutely. We are very open to finding a good solution. So it's always working with them to determine what they really want and then, backing into it to fit with the GORUCK mentality. Because obviously our first line of reasoning is to make sure that it matches the brand. We want to make sure that everything keeps the brand in place. Like, it's not like we're going to do something that's ever going to hurt that. But at the same time, we're definitely flexible. Being a small company gives us that flexibility to say, okay, well, what do you want to do? Like, we're able to kind of figure out their goals and make sure that it's something that they actually want to do. Because if they're in and they're say, hey, we're going to do it, then we'll figure out a way to make it happen.
That's awesome. One of the newer pages on the website is the GORUCK Firebase page. And so I believe those are previously called GORUCK Ruck Clubs. So can you tell me what the definition of a GORUCK Firebase is?
So a fire base in the military is a station that's kind of on the front lines. They're the people that see, the battle. They're the ones that are on the forefront of what's happening. And it kind of translates very well to what a fire base in our terms is. And that's basically a ruck club, a gym, anybody who's out there promoting GORUCK on the front line. So there's somebody that has a direct line to a potential customer. A gym owner has a class of 30 people at their CrossFit gym, and they may say, hey, we're going to go do a ruck this Wednesday instead of our normal WOD, or they'll just do it on a Saturday or whatever it might be. Then you have your ruck clubs, and these are people that literally just ruck for the most part, as a form of fitness, as a form of social fun for everyone. And their names are basically just like the, Ruck Club or Travel Squad or something like that. And then you have other people that could be of different backgrounds, like a smaller club, social club somewhere. There's little school get-togethers sometimes. I mean, we work with a lot of different people, but the majority of the people we work with in the Firebase program are gyms, and then, the ruck clubs and the people who are out there rucking on a consistent basis.
So groups can apply to be a GORUCK Firebase via the form on the website. When you receive those forms, what do you like to see in a potential Firebase?
So with a Firebase, we like to see people that are motivated and excited about the program. I like to determine their level of commitment, because we want to make sure that these people are going to actually be those front lines for us, because it's not like we require them to go out and be this extreme marketing branch for GORUCK where they're out there putting flyers on people's windshields on a Saturday at some, parking lot somewhere. But we want them to do one ruck a month, the basic requirement, post about it on social media, and then, drive members to the events, because those are all things that help us, and they're also things that, obviously are our core. Like, we want people rucking, and we love to get people out to events because then they really understand who GORUCK is. Because once you do a GORUCK event, you really get a taste of what the company is about, who we are, what our cadre are, why we have the gear that we have, why we make it, why it's so good, why it's so strong and can handle so much. It's kind of the basics of GORUCK happen at Firebases. I mean, I don't want them to turn into somebody that's an expert on rucking. I mean, obviously they can if they want to, but they don't have to be. But it's someone that's motivated enough that they want to say, I want to be a part of the rucking revolution, if you want to call it that, and I want to have people out there being active and getting them excited about it. So if I get the sense that there's a Firebase that's out there getting people integrated and involved, then I'm all about bringing them on. Now, I also like to see, some sort of membership, because we don't want just ruck clubs out there of like 2 or 3 people running around. I mean, it doesn't really benefit us too much, but we like to see, I'd say like at least 10 to get it started, but I can help them to try to grow that and give them a good idea of where to go next. But I like to see some membership, and that's why gyms are always a good fit, because they usually have already obviously a base of people that they're working with, so it makes it easier to help them to grow a rucking program there. And then some ruck clubs start off a little smaller sometimes, but we also like to see them grow, and we give them the support and the kind of direction they might need to get to a better position as well.
So have you noticed any trends or similarities between the Firebases that you found to be more successful?
It's honestly just as simple as more rucking, because the more that people ruck, the more community they feel, because they're like, okay, well, I've done 4 rucks this month with my group and they love it and they get really, really into it. And then, they start saying they want to train for an event, and then they go and do that one event, and they're like, oh man, that was awesome. We loved it. Well, let's do a custom now, because we've never done, we want to do something specifically for our group. And then they go and do a custom, and then they're like, all right, well, let's do another custom, or, let's go buy a bunch of gear. And it's just this thing that keeps growing and growing, because they start off with that basic consistent ruck. The more consistent a Firebase is, the more that it seems the success rate goes up. Because if it becomes inconsistent, people tend to think that, oh, well, they're not taking it seriously. Oh, this is just a side project, or this is something that doesn't really mean much to them. But if they see it happening consistently, I mean, even if it's just once a month, but they do it well and they're, they have a route organized and they have, something for people to do afterwards, then it becomes more successful in general. And then obviously it also helps to integrate the GORUCK community. That's part of our job here, is to say, all right, well, you're having a little bit of trouble getting people out to your ruck. Let me know about that. And then I can try to hook you up with some local GRTs in the area. And for your listeners, GRTs are GORUCK tough people who have completed a GORUCK event or are already in the GORUCK community. And we can help to try to link up a current ruck club that might be there to a gym and say, hey, this is a new gym that's a part of our Firebase program. You guys in this ruck club should go check out this gym. They're going to do a ruck on Wednesday. And then that usually helps to build the community, because there's really nothing better than hanging out with a bunch of GRTs in one location, because then they all start to talk and joke around and give their tips and their jokes about what they should be preparing for. And it makes everything a lot easier and a lot more lighthearted for the ruck club. So I think, to answer your question originally, it's just the level of commitment in terms of consistency, and then integrating in with the current GORUCK community, that if it is available in their area, and if not, they can still keep up the same consistency and quality of their rucks, and that usually helps as well.
And I got to agree, there's nothing better than finding some GRT in the area that you didn't know were there.
Exactly.
And you guys probably have the best directory of GRTs, so.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the tough group is a good spot too, but from my being here so long, from when I was a GRT specifically, outside of HQ here, you immediately come to certain people in your head like, oh yeah, I remember them from that location, or, people's names just off the top of your head because you've known them for so long.
So for anyone who's listening, who's always wanted to start a ruck club in their area because there isn't one, what advice do you have for them, for people who are trying to figure out a way to get off the ground?
Back to my original point on what makes a good ruck club, it's the consistency. Because even if it's just you rucking and you're trying to get it started, do it every week or once a month, and just go the same route. Because if you go the same route, people are going to see you and they're going to be like, well, there's that guy again. He's carrying some backpack and he's got a flag, and what is he doing? Why is he doing this? Is he protesting? Is he, making a statement? And then a lot of times people end up coming to ask you, especially if you're going the same route every time. And this is honestly just the basic small way to do it. Because if you're, an individual that says, hey, I want to start a ruck club. I love rucking. I don't know anybody in my area and there's no other ruck clubs around me. Then, go ahead and start one and start rucking. Just get, then you may get another person that sees you, and then you maybe get another person. And I think that really grows. And, again, to my point, it's like the more you consistently do it and the more that you get people into it, they'll keep coming. Obviously, people have certain commitments that come up, but everyone usually keeps showing up over time just because it's something fun to do. And we have a lot of great little guides and tips that we can provide once you want to become a ruck club. Like if you're not at that point yet where you have enough people to be a full-fledged ruck club, we can definitely give you, we have a document of how to lead a ruck. So you can say like, all right, well, I want to lead a ruck. How do I do my first ruck ever with 2 or 3 people that I have with me? And then, or, maybe it's 5 people. And then I can give you some guidance on that type of thing. And it's really simple though. To give a brief synopsis of such a thing, it would be pick a location, pick a route, set up maybe a Facebook event. It helps to have something where everyone can kind of congregate beforehand. Pick a start point and end point, and then maybe send out the route beforehand if you want to. If not, you don't have to, but it's always helpful for people to know where they're going. Have you in the front. If you have an extra person you can spare, have them in the back to kind of make sure that everyone's coming up the back and not getting, too far from the front of the group. And then, take them on that route, come back, have some beer or pizza or, whatever you drink, and enjoy yourselves and have it be a social thing. I mean, if you want to have it be a little bit more of a beatdown, that's always something that people can do. I don't always recommend it for the early rucks, because if you do some sort of 12-miler with, an hour of PT in the middle, you might turn off a few people. But, I think those are the types of things that get people started and keep it consistent.
That's great advice. So for anyone listening, if you want to start a ruck club and don't know where to start, hit up the GORUCK website, check out the Firebases section, and ask for that how to start your first ruck program.
Exactly. That'll be the best way to start. I mean, like I said, it's just the being there, starting it and doing it, and then more people will show. It's kind of the old mantra of if you build it, they will come. So, I think that's kind of how it is with GORUCK ruck clubs.
Absolutely. So how has the feedback been for the program?
It's been great. I mean, there's a lot of great ruck clubs. I'm really happy to work with all these people because it's amazing to see how they've grown. I mean, I get such great emails all day long, and it's always interesting to reach out and say, hey guys, how's it going? And they're like, oh, I've been rucking tons. I've 15 people signed up for this event. We're looking to buy a bunch of GR1s. I have a bunch of members that are looking to do their first heavy. I mean, it's pretty incredible when they feel that they're a part of the community and they know that they're building something special at their location. It really does translate pretty cool across the board to everything they're doing. The ruck clubs and the gyms and all that are essential to us. We need those people to help grow GORUCK, and we wouldn't be here without them. So it's important to take care of them and make sure that they're feeling special or taken care of across the board. So that's where my job comes in, and our job at the Firebase team is to just give them what they need to be successful and to continue rucking and building these cool things for them to do, whether it's a custom or a large gear order or whatever it might be.
So do you want to briefly talk about some of the benefits that are given to ruck clubs that decide to become a GORUCK Firebase?
Sure, absolutely. So we build out these programs to be tiered to basically offer the ruck club an incentive to get more people to sign up. So the idea is that they will start off with an event discount code, and we'll provide that to them so that they can offer it to their members. And it's something that they keep internal, so that way it's something we can track and see how they're doing. And then in conjunction with that, we also ask for social media posts. We ask for them to kind of, get some following going for what they're doing. And initially, we also will provide some marketing opportunities. So we put them on our website as a place where people can search on the map on that Firebase page you brought up. If you're looking for a location to train, there's a whole map there that you can type in your location, whether it's a zip code or an address, and you can kind of zoom in or zoom out to depend on where the ruck club is and find people that are near you. Or that's basically another side of the marketing to it. We are looking into other options for how we can integrate the ruck clubs and the gyms and our Firebases in general to be a part of our social media campaigns to say, hey, this is a workout provided by a ruck club or a Firebase or whomever, or, there might be other opportunities as well. So we're always looking to expand our options. We're looking into more email-centric opportunities as well to give, more exposure to events going on. I mean, we love hearing about your rucks and your different cool events that you've got going on. So there's a lot of opportunity initially as a basic startup ruck club or Firebase to get some exposure from our customers, and then also get a nice little discount for your events. And then from there, once we see some traction in the program, and once someone applies to the program, I'm happy to provide more detailed information, but we expand your event discount, provide some gear discounts and some other incentives once you get up to those higher levels and we see more signups and gear purchases. And, we try to, again, just incentivize and provide support for our best ruck clubs. And it basically comes down to, we want to be able to say like, hey, we're coming to a city, like, all right, well, we're going to XY city and then there's XY CrossFit there or XY ruck club. And we know that we can go and hit them up to meet up for a start point or, some drinks before or whatever it might be. So that's kind of the friendship level we like to have with our ruck clubs.
And for those who are listening, the GORUCK Firebase program is free to apply to. So if you're already running a ruck club and you are not part of the GORUCK Firebase program, you should definitely look into joining because there's a lot in it for you and it's excellent.
Exactly. Yeah, there's no cost to be a Firebase. We don't want you to be paying some sort of membership fee or something like that. So yeah, we're happy to work with you and figure out a good way to come up with a good solution to bring more people into your ruck club or your gym.
So if people want to find pictures or social media related to GORUCK Firebases to see what other GORUCK Firebases across the country are doing on social media, what hashtags should they be looking out for?
The official hashtag is #GRFirebase is the main hashtag. So you'll see, a lot of people posting under that hashtag. There's also, I think some people use maybe the tag @GORUCK and then maybe include a hashtag Firebase. We search through the hashtag GRFirebase on them. And then, a hashtag rucking is always a good one. Just the classics. I think some of them might be actually rugby shots sometimes, but there's always a good amount of GORUCK stuff in those as well. But yeah, GRFirebase is probably the best hashtag to look for.
It's always fun with the hashtag rucking. Every now and then I'll tag some of the all-day Ruckoff posts with hashtag rucking, and then you'll get the paid advertisements from rugby companies posting on your pictures.
Exactly. It's funny. I didn't even know that rucking was a part of rugby until I started working at GORUCK or being a part of GORUCK. And then I was like, oh, that's what that means.
That's awesome. So thank you so much for taking the time today to chat with me. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
I mean, we just love all of our customers here. Like it's really about them. I mean, GORUCK would not exist without it. We're not some organization that can do anything else. We're about the people. So Firebase is really important to growing that. So, I mean, if you're a little bit afraid, if you're, not sure if this is something for you, just feel free to shoot us an application and just ask some questions, and we'll reach out and touch base with you and see what makes sense. And, we'll guide you. We won't turn you down. I mean, I don't delete applications because of anything really. It's just more so just checking out to see, hey, what are they doing? Like, let's talk about it. I usually call all my Firebases before we, start a relationship, because I want to make sure that, one, their telephone works, and then two, that we can talk about what they're doing and what their plans are for the program. So please write in or, apply to be a part of the program if you're interested in starting a ruck club, or if you're a gym owner or anybody that's actually interested in rucking and feel that you can get a group together to ruck with. We would love to hear from you.
And I'll say, for what it's worth, Kit is one of the nicest guys I've ever met. Not just in the GORUCK community, but ever. So send him an application, reach out to him. He's not scary, and it will be good. Only good things can come from it. Awesome. Well, thank you so much again. Thanks for taking the time out of your day, and I truly appreciate it.
No problem, man.
Thank you so much for listening to the All Day Ruckoff podcast. To learn more about the GORUCK Firebase program, or to find a Firebase near you, visit the show notes at alldayruckoff.com/podcast/episode-008. To learn more about All Day Ruckoff, you can visit us at alldayruckoff.com. Did you enjoy the show? We would love a review on Apple Podcasts. Think we can do something better? Send an email directly to me at brian@alldayruckoff.com, and I'll get back to you. Thanks so much again, and remember, attitude is everything. Keep yours positive, and drink hard, ruck harder.